What is up, Wendell? Getting started. I was doing a lot of stuff the past couple days, so apologies if I was away a little bit. Any catalyst causing this dump? Good question. It's a good question, Bitbird. Good question. I mean, maybe economy slowing. People naturally would take a lot of profits, after doubling their money, assuming you got in at, between 15, 17K, those areas. We'll talk about it. So yeah, definitely going to talk about that. And I got a lot of new updates to tell you guys, a lot of new stuff we're doing that I'm really excited about. So yeah. So that was, I'm just thinking here. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm getting some food delivered in a little bit. I'm going to be in What's up, NBF? Let's see, our traditional market's down as well. They're up slightly, actually, which is kind of wild. Still heading for a losing week, though. Google's 80-acre San Jose mega campus is on hold as company reckons with the economic slowdown. That's breaking news. So ultimately, on the macro, things are still bearish. Dead cat bounces, always. Bitcoin rally to 30K was caused by exclusively people FOMOing into Bitcoin for fear. Yeah, I'd say a lot of that was the catalyst, from when we had the dump down to 20K and then from 30K. A lot of it was that. It would have made sense to come back up to 25K. The real question now, I'll talk about it, is if we can keep 25K, keep the 200 weekly moving average. I think if we can't, one, that'd be weird. It's kind of, that place, the 200 weekly is now kind of a joke. Price doesn't care about it anymore. But I would still say that's kind of the more bearish thing, and that, it keeps bringing us down lower and could potentially, kind of do a repeat of 2019. Now, I don't want to talk about it too much, but 2015, 2019, more sideways kind of accumulation years. So far this year, just been all up, similar to how 2019 kind of was. And then what's the next half of it? It's probably going to be up and down a bit. You know what I mean? Maybe down until September, October, then up in the last 2 months. That could be possible if you see a bottom there. We'll talk about it. Okay, let's get started. Alrighty, what is up, guys? Appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Wendell, Bitbird, all you guys, Donkey Punch. Let's get into the analysis, and then, yeah. So, the first thing that we want to look at here is kind of obviously the weekly, really high time frame. So weekly, we have, your RSI is significantly curving down now. So I just want to see how far they were. I want to compare this actually. When were we that far down? We were that far down around June. So, actually, if you do compare it to that, we still have a little bit of room to come up. We still potentially have some good news, some room to come up, and potentially, I don't know, next 10 days into May. Kind of don't think that's going to happen, but it is possible. It is possible. And then if we look at the, 6-day here, red dot split our size as well. But if you compare it to that, we still weren't at the top. However, these RSIs are much more split. This is considerably worse. And this would give us a strong argument, pretty strong argument to tell us this rally is generally over and we could be heading back down. If you look at here, came up a lot, And then, first half of this year was just incredible. This was a big, what was this, a 3-4x at least? Yeah, I mean, this was from 3,000, more than a 3x, a 4x, and then all the way kind of back down. I mean, if you don't factor in the pandemic, maybe it was just down a good amount, but that's still from June to December. That's still the next half of that year is being pretty bearish. So if it's like that, we gotta, we're in for some, some interesting rough times. And I mean, you would map this out to a potential lower low if you go and look at that in towards the end of the year. That's the thing, in towards the end of the year. So that's what we're looking at right there. If we also look at kind of the 4-day, some of these, RSI is coming down a bit there. Now, this is interesting. Okay, so if it's like this, you got a little bit more room up. But history doesn't repeat exactly. Guys, history is never going to repeat exactly. So that's why I would be a little bit more lenient towards, the sense that we'll kind of roll over here, that we may have, topped out. Now, I'm not saying you can't come up from here at least a little bit, but things are increasingly looking more bearish, increasingly kind of looking more bearish. Now, money flow starting to kind of curve down there. Obviously back here, when it started to curve down there 2-day, not too bad, but you're getting more and more bearish divs, starting to look a bit more bearish, starting to look a little bit more worse. So that's what I would say. A bit worse, excuse me. Money flow coming back into the red on the daily. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys was, I was kind of comparing it to really on the 8-hour I was looking at, but you could kind of maybe get the same conclusion through a lot of these. Money flow at this level. When was money flow at this level on the 8-hour? Right back here. Look at what ended up happening. You came down a bit further. If we kind of map that, I'm on logarithm. Oh no, I'm on logarithmic. We're good. If you kind of compare it to how it was earlier around this area, right back down to 25. So I think it is likely that we would see a test of the high 25s, 200 weekly moving average. I think it's likely. Let's look at the 200 weekly right now. I think it coincides really well with the spiral end pocket right there, guys. Look at that. So that point is just huge at 25.9, 26. 26 is going to be a big area. It seems like with these yellow X's as well, you would generally just keep going down. Now, I'm not saying, into the weekend. Now, I'm not saying you're just going to go straight down to that point. You can, but, with the yellow X's, I think it's likely. That's the next place for my my short to take profit. And I want to show you guys, let's show you guys my Discord. Now, we got some two new amazing analysts. These guys are excellent in the Discord. So the premium Discord, this is a really good opportunity for all of us, I think. I have Crypto Bullzone and Lanacore, which are amazing people. I mean, CryptoFace is talking about some of the testimonials on Lanacore, some of the people that have been talking to Lanacore. Have said he's been like changing people's lives and stuff like that. Crypto Bullzone, both of these guys are excellent, and I've been adding them in. So they've had a lot of really good entries here, just doing incredible, combined with my own. So these you can't have everybody seeing all of this stuff because there's bots, there's other things. So but this is a really good value. We're putting a lot of good stuff there. I mean, I was talking about this. You could look at my entries to the Bitcoin swing short. Next take profit right there. That was from the other day. Been a little bit busy. Haven't been. I try to give at least every other day, kind of give you guys something every other day. But we've been doing really well here, all of us. So this is some great value here. Obviously, nobody's going to be right 100% of the time, but there is some good value in this community. If you guys are interested, the link patreon.com/Evanaldo. Got some good instructions for when you sign up. It's not going to be this cheap forever, guys, because you can't have too many people follow. If everybody's following the same thing, it kind of there's bots, there's other things, market makers, they kind of catch on. So get it while it's hot. Probably gonna have to raise the prices pretty soon depending on demand, but this is going to be a really good value. I'm super excited about this. The Discord is phenomenal. I'm excited to see these other guys. Shout out to Crypto Bullzone, shout out to Lanacore. Excellent analysts. These guys are professionals. What's up, Jay Sherlock? What's up, Crypto Itachi? I like that name, Crypto Itachi. What's up, guys? Appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Bears get wrecked until May. Bulls wrecked until October. Then we move it to halving year. Okay. So, yeah. That could be a potential RF. I could see that. Yeah, it kind of goes off what I was saying a little bit. Let's see. And, yeah. But, yeah, welcome, guys. Always appreciate you guys. Let me know if there's any particular coins you want me to look at. Let's get into ETH, and I want to look at Bitcoin, ETH, and a few other things. So if we're getting into ETH here, I've been talking about this. This has been a pretty good. This actually isn't even if you look at the 2-day, yeah, it's a bearish div there, but money flow coming out, like this is a pretty rare kind of bearish sign here. And I mean, this has potential to really, wreck us, really do a potential repeat of, I know it sounds like ultimately extremely like, pessimistic here maybe, but look, it's just what's happened before. This is just history, guys. You come up to this rally, and then what happens? I mean, well, let's not even count the pandemic, And, I mean, that's 800. That's a target for 800 right there, potentially, towards the end of the year. This point is huge. I know it sounds crazy saying this, but 600 could still potentially be in the cards. I think regardless of what happens, regardless of where price is towards the end of the year or early next year, I think it's going to be a good buying opportunity. Now, what we also want to look at on Ethereum is the 12-day. And the 12-day, as we, maybe continue downward here, money flow goes into the red, VWAP come down, that gets very bearish. However, that's where I'm going to be starting. That's where I'm going to be starting to DCA into ETH and potentially some altcoins as well. And I think that's your rare kind of buying opportunity, similar to over here. I mean, this was a better this is for DCAing in for long term. Let's take a look at this, guys. Your average price kind of over here would have been, I don't know, around this area if you were DCAing in. However, if you were DCAing in, I don't know, if you were able to catch this low, I mean, from that same period, you would have probably been higher average entry potentially. Could have been kind of the same maybe, but I think here would have been a little bit better. I don't know though. But you would have been better off to get into Bitcoin there because Bitcoin was outperforming ETH. So really, I think we're still in that kind of Bitcoin accumulation phase to DCA into Bitcoin, and then I'm going to start getting into converting some Bitcoin into ETH pretty soon. And if we look at Cardano ETH, I'm not too sure about that. I was looking kind of bullish, but it could keep leading. I'm not sure. It's hitting a big point. We'll talk about some more later possibly. But if we look at ETH Bitcoin here, I do think it's going to roll over and come down farther. It's taken its time. But I think you're going to, with regulatory FUD, something I think is going to bring this down. I could be wrong, but I think something's going to make this dump against Bitcoin. And then if ETH goes to lower lows, you could potentially see it at lower places over here. This would kind of be a dream. But I think, maybe what I would start DCAing into ETH over here around 0.05 potentially. That's what I think. Let's see, Donkey Punch. It might actually be a straight line down to 700 for ETH with all the unlocked ETH first. Yeah. So I think it would be more of a gradual. I mean, I think it would take some time to get down to 700. I think it would take time. It almost would be too good to be true for it to just come down that quickly in the next couple months. I think it would probably be end of year, but it could be wrong. I think things may generally follow traditional markets, which may not bottom out until mid 2024. Somewhere towards the end of the year to mid 2024 for traditional markets, if it's like 2001. Let's see. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance, and we'll look at a couple of those altcoins. So Bitcoin dominance, red dot here. The weekly looks more bearish for Bitcoin dominance. It would be good for alts. It's not really seeing too much of relief in this drop off, but you are getting the trigger wave there. On the 10 hour, you're getting some things that would kind of say we're not going to have the altcoin season. This could continue forward. And that's what I'm leaning towards right now. I think if we're going to see somewhat of an altcoin season, I mean, you'd probably have to bounce here. You'd probably have to bounce at where we are kind of right now. That would be the main hope for an altcoin season. I don't think we're going to be able. I mean, maybe it could see it if you come down to kind of this area, 200 weekly, maybe at 26 if you get a nice bounce there. But yeah. Alts need to bleed big time against Bitcoin, yeah. Do include it, yeah. I mean, that is definitely possible, Donkey Punch. I mean, Cardano is as well. I mean, Cardano, let's just look at some of these. I just want to look at Cardano. Yeah, I mean, 45, 46, and then it was kind of, yeah, now it's just that drop down. But it's not impossible to come back up from here and make a new high, but as of right now, not too much. Trend reversal there on the weekly. Not extremely promising right now. I want to look at a few of the ones you guys wanted me to look at. So let's look at blur or render. We'll take quick looks at some of these smaller caps, and yeah, this is so hard, man. It's hitting some support there. I don't think it would look good. I think this will continue to bleed against Bitcoin. RNDR hitting a big point here, rejecting off of it. I think blur probably looks a tiny bit better, but that's such a tough question to answer, man. Let's take a look at Algo. Man, not looking too promising. I want to wait a few months. And see what happens here. Blood Diamond, you know, I mean, Blood Diamond galore on the 3-day. I mean, I guess you could argue one of these is bound to not work too well. Maybe it's like that where you come up a little bit, but in terms of that environment, I think we could potentially make lower lows. I'm not saying we will. We are hitting big support, but you know, I think it's possible. You know what I mean? Let's see. Alts need to bleed. Let's see Bitcoin. MEXC, sure. Yeah. Blood Diamond right there. I mean, this could be, if you want to, if Donkey Punch, this could be the scenario that he thinks is going to happen. He could be right here. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to come down this low to negative 10 cents. I'm not saying it's going down that low. Of course, I didn't even draw this thing right. Oh man, let's get rid of that. Start this up. You know, that would be a lower low. I don't think it's going down to 22 cents. I do think it's possible to repeat that. Maybe make a double bottom, 30-something cents. Really get destroyed here. Matic Bitcoin, I think, is also going to bleed as well. I think that could potentially get down to these areas. That'd be a good kind of accumulation for Matic. Harmony 1, nice. What's up, DCF? Appreciate you, man. DCF's a good guy. DCF has had some good calls. Negative 10 cents. Any chance we come up to 28K? Sure, Lewis. It's not looking too promising for that right now with all the yellow X's all over. But you do have a lot of them here, and then if you get money flow starting to come up here, so yeah, there's definitely a possibility of that. The weekend could get kind of crazy, but you know, I mean, you do have some green dots and stuff. I'm not seeing it right now too much. I mean, we're not even hitting any. We're kind of 27. We're kind of in no man's land. I think you would come down to 27, bounce there potentially, but not much in between here and where we are. Everyone expects down only now. This would kind of tell you otherwise. Not all these people going long. I mean, funding fees are still generally positive here, except for Doge. More people are shorting that, but not exactly. Not exactly all positive here. So there's still a lot of people long. But yeah. Bitcoin AVX dot chain link Uniswap. I forget what PYR even is. Yeah, it's, you know, I can't tell you. I can't answer that. A lot of those, a few of those I probably wouldn't be buying long term. But my strategy could be totally different than yours. Is Doge dumping? So we do have the technical target at that 2 cent part. Excuse me. At 2 cents. Let's see here. Daily 2 hour trend reversal. There. Yeah, all those trend reversal signs of. I think you're at least gonna come down to 6 cents again. Technical target out of that wedge that we haven't really gone too much above is down here at 2 cents. So you might get your wish. You might get that. You absolutely might get that if things really continue to go down and over the next 6 months. We'll see. Would love to add some beautiful shiny toys to that like area. Yeah, that's a good point, DCF. Really good point. APT and SUS. Yeah. So I do think that in terms of like other than Bitcoin, ETH, it's more of a venture capitalist strategy. So you want to have, a good portfolio of at least, I'm looking probably to maybe get 20 to 30 of them, maybe a little less. We'll see. But a good portfolio, and you got to be prepared for any of them to potentially go to zero. Main strategy is if you buy 5 of them, maybe one doesn't do too well, but maybe 2 or 3 don't even do too well, but 1 or 2 do really well, and then it would offset that. So that's what you got to look at there. But I don't think we're in a good, the best altcoin accumulation time just yet. I think we want to wait till Bitcoin dominance goes a bit higher. We want to wait till alts really bleed. ETH really bleeds against Bitcoin. I think we want to wait till ETH on the 12-day goes into the red with the VWAP coming down for that accumulation phase. And that may not happen. If you get a sell, may walk away. I mean, this could come down relatively soon to 1,300. That may be the start to get in. But don't be too shocked if it comes down, to make a lower low, 600 or something crazy like that. People laugh at those numbers, but hey, they laugh. Probably a lot of people would have laughed if you said back in, May of 2021, if that Bitcoin was going back down to 15K at some point. So, yeah. So that's a good point too. It's a good thing to keep in mind there, guys. If we want to, let's look at the NASDAQ, some traditional markets. I believe gold and silver are probably coming down as well. NASDAQ's been looking... Money flow coming out. What's up, Crypto Grizzly? Near in Cadena, second cycle to exposure. Yeah. What's up, Cool? Appreciate you, man. DCF, you're still thinking 32, 34K is on the table? It could be if we continue, because this is really where it looks bad. Yeah, this is where it kind of looks bad, like it's not going to happen, and then you kind of get that altcoin season and you come up a bit more. Definitely is possible. NASDAQ not looking too good there. Kind of from what I'm looking at, it just doesn't seem like it's really going to happen, but that would be the case. I mean, you'd probably have to bounce pretty quickly if that's going to happen. I mean, maybe you hit off of this area, 27 even or something. Let's look at some of these smaller time frames potentially. If we were to, let's try a fib level or something. Right there, yeah. That's why I'd be looking at a little bit lower, that area. And then get some bullish divs potentially. But we're in more of a bearish environment, and that weekly's about to get that red dot too. So if you were to, it would look at kind of exactly like this. If you were to come up to 32 or 34, you know what I mean? It would be really like that. And then you'd get, not 40, but yeah, I mean, 35 is a big area. So yeah. So let's see here. That's coming down. What's the likelihood that this is a bear trap, massive pump coming next? Man, it's a tough question. I'd give it like a 20%. You got a lot of these blood diamonds here. Funding rates are positive. Money flow crossovers into red. I'd probably only give it a 10 or 20% chance. I think 31 is a pretty big area where we bounce off of here. It does generally look like we could continue forward down to test 25.9. It's possible you get a bump off of 29.5. I think that 29.5 is really the last hope. It probably wouldn't even, you know what I mean? Like this kind of stuff usually doesn't really happen just like that quick up, down like that, down, up like that. So, yeah, I mean, based on what I'm seeing here, even it's a pretty large bearish div there. It looks like we're almost done. You know what I mean? Even this, like, I mean, it lagged a little bit, but it looks like we're done. Yeah. It's that environment. Yeah, I mean, it's that environment for it to come down. 26.5, yeah, that's where the pocket was cool, I believe. Yeah. I mean, yellow X's, do you really want to, I wouldn't be longing with yellow X's right here. I mean, unless you're doing some quick scalp or something, I mean, I wouldn't be Probably wouldn't be long in with that. Just not my cup of tea right now. It's okay. I just want to look at a few of the articles. So the Google one, I mean, that's obviously more bearish in the macro. It seems like anytime you see any type of bearish news on like CNBC or something about the economy or something, it seems like when you see anything like that, you just get like a dead cat bounce, but then you kind of eventually roll over. But it takes time. We're in that environment where it just gradually kind of comes down, I think, and that's the best. It kind of eats into all the people trying to short it, you know what I mean? Because they just don't have the patience for it. So they'll probably get, and I'm talking about like most markets, crypto and traditional markets too. So I think that's what it's kind of going to be. If we look at, is Fox Business saying anything? Well, let's see. Zero hedge. I mean, this is probably always going to be bearish, but yeah. Nothing too interesting here. So we looked at, I mean, Matic Bitcoin. I think that's going to bleed. I mean, I think the main alt area is going to be probably in June to later. Layoffs are going to be huge. I think combined with just economy slowing as it normally does every so many years, combined with maybe AI taking away some jobs. ARB, I mean, like any other alt, I think alts are really risky right now. I think most of them have potential to continue to kind of bleed against Bitcoin. I mean, this came down a lot in the last few days. If you do see that altcoin season, you could pump up and make maybe come up to $2, if not maybe a little bit more. But I kind of think you would at least, kind of come back down to these areas relatively soon. I'd be looking into, in the next few months. Best time DC into tech crypto. I suggest if I haven't started in the summer until, that's what I think. That's what I think is cool. I think we're a few months away. I think that it's a good time to probably still, in terms of Bitcoin DCA strategies, I think the 2 week, let's put that up, the 2 week staying in the red could be a good place. Obviously, you probably don't have to be a genius to realize here that this looks very bearish and it looks like you're gonna, at least come back to, probably 21, 22 based on that. So, but I think ultimately, the DCA strategy for the next 10 months or something. I think ARB will be like Aptos at some point. It will pump hard and do Forex somewhere. Yeah, I think at some point, probably in the next bull run. Maybe not though. So let's look at gold and silver. I think those are getting a decent hit too. And I think they may kind of see a summer lull with a lot of traditional markets and crypto. But I think they're going to continue to generally outperform the S&P 500, NASDAQ at least. And I think you're going to see gold shine. Nobody's getting rich off of gold anytime soon. But I think in the general, the next 3 to 5 years, you'll probably see a $3,000 gold, if not more. And I also want to look at, what was it? The SPY. In terms of money flow, starting to look a bit more bearish. I mean, I think kind of this area is pretty big to reject off of kind of that area. Not exactly a bearish div, but I do think we're really getting there here. And you got the trend reversal in the 2 week. That's something that doesn't come up too often. Obviously, these were bullish points, but nothing's going to work out the same way. I think this one could be more bearish. Could be wrong, though. I don't know. But that's what I'm looking at. And if we look at, let's look at Bitcoin the monthly. I'm curious, that money flow, I do think, trigger wave potentially, too. And, And by the way, guys, if you're just tuning in, made a lot of new updates to the exclusive Discord. Link down below. Added 2 new analysts. We got some great new guys in there. who are giving some great trade setups and potential trades. Crypto Bullzone and Lanacore. Myself also, we've been doing fantastic in there this week. I think we're just trying a lot of new things, posting a lot of charts. So a lot of people have really liked it. We're really building that community. And it's not going to stay at these prices forever because if you get in right now, it is a great damn it. I gotta pick up some food. I'm gonna have to take an intermission, guys. This guy can't find me, unfortunately. So let me figure that out, and I will. Well, gold DCF. We'll talk about it. Give me like a 5-minute break here. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta pick up something. All right, guys, we are back. Apologies for that. Was hungry, wanted to eat something. Hope it wasn't too long, about 5 minutes or so. Not too bad, or 10 minutes. A little over 10 minutes. So let me just take another sip of this milkshake. Okay, yeah. So, and that Five Guys Oreo milkshake is fantastic. The amount of dopamine I'm feeling from that is fabulous. So let's see. BITGET's going to force KYC in May. Is that 100% or is that just a rumor? Because I've been hearing rumors about that for a long time. So yeah, I think inevitably that's going to eventually happen on all of them, and we're not going to be able to leverage trade with very high leverage, which kind of sucks. MEXC is good. I think BITGET has a bit more trading volume. I would go with the highest one where you don't need highest trading volume, where you don't need KYC, it would probably be the best bet in my opinion. But it doesn't surprise me if that does happen. That could also kind of hurt BITGET as well, because that would lose a lot of clientele. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But if you guys are interested in MEXC, we are doing a really I just started today actually. I didn't mention it yet, but we're doing a really cool trading competition where you could win up to $150, $250 if you are the top trader. You only have to deposit $200 and have a minimum trading volume of 40K. It's a really good promo like we did last time. Your odds are really good. I think everybody in the top 10 gets something like $10. So the link is down below. You don't need a VPN. No KYC, not yet on MEXC. First link down below for the competition. I believe if you're already signed up with my link, you can enter the competition. Just make sure you understand what you need to do to be eligible to get the prize. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to really like the competition, so check it out. Link down below. So yeah. So obviously check out the Patreon. Some fantastic new improvements, new analysts, new stuff. We're doing a lot of great things to help you guys out there. It's not going to stay this low forever, so get it while it's hot. Obviously, you can't have everybody, having access to the same information. The bots will see, market makers see what you're doing, and then, yes, you got to kind of keep it a little bit exclusive. So yeah. Thing two is these EMAs turning gray are not, in terms of that, down quite a bit. That was more of a buy signal, okay. That was a buy area for the most part, but that was a good sell signal. So, and this one is kind of half and half. Let's see. Some big influencers got emails from BITGET giving them the heads up. I believe it's pretty easy, pretty set in stone for May 8th. I would have thought you would. I haven't been checking my emails, dude. I get a lot of emails, man. At DCF, I get a lot of emails. I try to keep up with them the best I can, but I did not see the email. But yeah, it's not like something I really care about too much. It's inevitably I think it'll inevitably happen on all exchanges. I mean, once you have regulation go, it's going to be more like kind of how the stock market is. I mean, you can't be going. I don't think anybody you can do options, but you can't be going 100x leverage with the stocks or stuff. But yeah. So that's that. I do think if we look at the short term here, I'm not seeing enough of a reason to believe we're going to get too much of an upside, until we get down to 26 or something. It could generally continue bearish into the weekend. I'm saying could be wrong. Could absolutely be wrong, but that's what I'm looking at right now. If we look at, you still got that bearish div there. Money flow into the red there on the 5-hour Discord pricing. So it's $50 a month, $50 a month. And for all the stuff you get in that, it's a really good value right now. It's gonna, we could charge a lot, with the value that's in there right now. I got 2 new analysts in there. There's a lot of good. You guys are lucky right now. That's what I will say. That's what I think. Because there's gonna be a lot of good information in there. A lot of good stuff between me, Crypto Bull Zone, and Atlanticor all are fantastic. Both of them are excellent, excellent. These are professional traders, guys. I'm not letting anybody, just be posting on my Discord. I mean, these guys know, these guys are very experienced. So yeah. The instructions get sent to you too if you sign up for the Discord. You got to be a member of the public Discord first, and then have your Discord linked up with your Patreon, and then it's pretty simple. The instructions will get sent to you. I did a welcome email that gets sent to everybody. So we're making a lot of improvements here. The improving my website as well with the trading course, that as well. So I just been working. Well, it would be a lie to say I've been working around the clock, but I've been working a lot. Because I was took a few days off. I was chilling in Orlando and stuff the last couple days. But yeah, other than that, I've been working around the clock. Let me take a sip of this milkshake. Man, that Five Guys milkshake is good. But yeah. Anyway, so let's look at this a little bit more. Split our size on the weekly here, and I mean it's like that. That would be the case to come up to 34, 35, whatever. But I'm kind of thinking more of the bear case with all these bear divs and stuff. Money flow starting to come out there. So yeah, I want to look at a few of the traditional markets. Oh yeah, DXY is very important to look at right now. So, I mean, obviously on higher time frames, this looks pretty bearish, especially on the weekly there. But once you get to the 3-day and below, it's not that bad, and it does look like we're forming kind of that double bottom around 100, man. Big jump off of 100 there, and money flow deep starting to come up on the 2-day, and the daily. Money flow coming up right there. The daily money flow coming up. So all those yellow X's, it looks like we could continue. It looks like we can generally kind of continue forward here. And traditional markets keep coming down. Say crypto keeps coming down for another 6 to 12 months or something, essentially. This may not top out until next summer. We're more in that slow kind of area. And that's kind of probably your last hurrah for the DXY, last hurrah for the US dollar. Now, can we come down lower? Yeah, absolutely. Can we come down a little bit lower too in the next, couple days, couple weeks, and then bounce off at like 99 or something? That's possible too. But I do think you're getting close here. The 3-day might be what we need. The 3-day red dot, next 3-day red dot might be what we need here. Nice VWAP divergence too. What's up, Flez K? And so we looked at that one. Let's look at like Tesla and some of the big ones. Tesla, I mean, they're lowering prices, which is good for the consumer if you want to buy a Tesla, but I mean, the margins aren't going to be as high. You did have that relief rally. It looks likely, especially on the 2-week. The 2-week looks, this looks very similar to Bitcoin on the 2-week. This kind of does follow Bitcoin to a certain extent too, even though they don't own as much of it anymore. I think they sold 90% of it. I think they have still a little bit. And, money flow coming out, VWAP coming down. I think your accumulation phase is going to be kind of when this gets into red, similar to probably Ethereum, similar to a lot of, similar to how Bitcoin is right now, when we're already in the red in 2-week on Bitcoin. Not yet for ETH. I'm really waiting for a 12-day on ETH because this time didn't stay that much in the red. If you were to wait for the red on this, probably not the worst idea, but could take some time. I'm going to be a little bit more jumping the gun, I guess, but yeah. And that was your I mean, this was a 70% drop from there, I believe. 70-something. 75 if you count the pandemic, and then if you do, I mean, 72 would be right to 5 something, 75 would be down there. Right now, I don't think you would come down, below like 600, really, below the high fives, below 5, 600. I think worst, that's it's kind of more worst case scenario right now, but we got to keep our keep our eyes open, see what happens. Things could change, obviously, so be careful. That's why I will say be careful. And yeah, let's see here. Let's see. So if we were to look at silver. Yeah, I mean, I think these will have somewhat of a pullback into the summer with everything else potentially as the DXY rides. But I think towards the end of the year into next year, you're going to see gold and silver do very well. Fetch.ai, I know that one. There's a lot of AI ones, obviously, because of GPT. Doesn't look too good to me in terms of money flow here, in terms of these high time frames. These could easily just come back down. Be careful with these. I'm probably going to get a couple, maybe like a couple AI ones into the summer. A diversified portfolio of altcoins once we get there. Maybe after the summer. I mean, I think the real prime spot is going to be towards the end of the year. But for right now, it's mainly Bitcoin accumulation. How's a peso doing? Still hovering around. I don't know about this. This could be kind of topping out if the Dixie does. It starts to do well here. So, yeah. How about the Costa Rican Colone? That is insane. All the way back to 2015 in terms of that evaluation. That's insane. Euro, I think that's going to be probably, I think we're getting there. I think the U.S. dollar, I think the Dixie is starting to get too close to the bottom. I could be wrong. And this could kind of generally come down to Euro. A lot of people are taking this trade. A lot of people are trying to go short in the Euro. So I'd be a little careful with this, but I do think if you're patient enough, it should come down. Other thing too, let's take a look at a few of the short funds like the SQQQ here and double bottom. Starting to come back up. Traditional markets could be very close, if not, at their tops right now. And I think this could have a nice kind of run up to potentially higher highs into the end of the year. Maybe, I don't know if we'd get that high. That would be a bad recession. But you can mess around with these highs again, I think, at least. Short fund on real estate. This looks pretty good too. Do have the trigger wave to the downside, but money flow coming up, I do think this generally will kind of give us what we need upward here. So yeah, I wanted to look at Atom. How is that holding up? Atom. It's not as good. $11 starting to come down. The 2 week here, money flow is coming out. 2 week here does not look too good. I do think ultimately something like this is definitely in the cards, a double bottom, if not a little bit lower, maybe 4 something even into the end of the year. A lot of these alts could kind of get killed. It's like a Cosmos Bitcoin. I mean, that's a weird one, but I'm kind of thinking potentially down a good amount more. Could be even up to 60%, probably worst case scenario for that pair. We looked at Doge. We could do a total 3. I mean, crypto's minus Bitcoin ETH, and I mean, yeah, that would be the case for like the altcoin season, something of this nature come up a little bit more because we didn't exactly mess with this golden pocket yet. That would be like the thing for the altcoin season. Maybe Bitcoin makes a slightly higher high, turns out bullish for the next 10 days or so into early May. Then I do think that is possible. I do think there's a decent case to be made for that, but as of right now, it's not looking too promising. In my opinion. That weekly, those coming down, and then there's that 3 week again. That VWAP starting to come down too on the 3 week. That's been Yellow X's too. I mean, you may not if two more yellow X's bounce off at 20, 26 or something. Yeah, 80 ETH is a good question. My main guess is that if the market comes down, it should continue to bleed. But you're hitting such a big point here that you know, such a big point that you might get a bounce. Maybe with all the ETH staking, the ETH sales of staking, that's becoming unlocked. I think mine just became unlocked. It's like 10 days you had to wait on Kraken or whatever. So I may, I still haven't done it, but I may convert some of that into Cardano. And I think there's a decent shot, but don't get mad at me if it kind of rolls over. A 2 week looks good. Bullish div on the 2 week that confirms in 2 days. I would probably take this trade, but risk management. What's up, Nightshade? How are you? How are you doing, buddy? Let's see. Thing too is like in terms of 3 hours, money flow is still getting deep, curving down. We're not curving up yet, so this could easily two more yellow X's or something, 3 more yellow X's bounce off of like 25 something into weekend, early next week. That's the big place. Test 200 weekly moving average. So yeah, CTS. Okay, shorts working out obviously. CTS, man. I forget it. CTS, man. What is that? Not even this. Okay. Can you even short this on normal exchanges? I don't even. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I was in a swing short. Mostly, a lot of it was based off of the bearish divs on the first time frame, and then these EMAs turning gray. That was pretty good indication on the 4 hour. And I'm trying to think here. So that's what I was looking at. Hit the first take profit a little while ago, waiting for kind of this area. You could double down here. Thinking about double downing here. Maybe once this confirms in 3 minutes or something. I don't know. And trying to take more profits there. That's my next take profit on them. More info on this in the Discord, guys. Got 2 new incredible analysts in there, Core and Crypto Bull Zone. Both excellent people. So if you guys are interested, check it out. We're not going to be doing this many slots at these prices because there's just so much value, and that's how it works. I mean, if too many people are taking the same trades, doing all the same stuff, it's bots are going to catch up to you. Markets makers are going to eventually kind of catch up to you. So, yeah. But get it while it's hot. Really good opportunity right here. Let me take a sip of this milkshake. Oh man, the MACD. I don't use it. Some people, I've heard mixed things. I mean, anything could be a good indicator depending on how you use it. I like Market Cipher better, obviously. I haven't used it too much, the MACD. Let's see, money flicker on large screen. Yeah, I think there's just not enough evidence to support a jump up. The odds just aren't high enough for a jump up right now, in my opinion. Near, yeah, we could look at near. So, weekly kind of trigger wave. Split RSI coming down there at 3 doesn't look too good. Yeah, the main case I would make on this is potentially coming down lower to a double bottom, if not even lower, into mid to later this year, into even early next year, maybe 90 cents or something. $1 would be a big point to make that lower low right there. So that's what I'm looking at for the long term. That's where I would probably be looking to really get some type of position in near if we do come down to those lows. It's around $1. I mean, you can mess around with some limit orders too, kind of at this point, but it's not the way I do it. Let's see. Let me put this in the fridge. Give me a second. So let's see here. Money flow current lower, yeah. Let's look at Aptos. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. There's going to be a lot of new ones coming out, and that will probably do well in the next bull run. This looks bad. That's right. Yeah, I think this is coming right back down. I could be wrong though. Yeah, January was this is really lagging. This could go to 0 potentially. I don't know though. But yeah, not looking good right now. Let's look at XRP. Very split RSIs on the weekly. I mean, similar to Bitcoin. It's pretty similar to kind of this area, I would think. I mean, even maybe worse because the RSIs are more split. But, I mean, 2016 down a good amount. Yeah, I mean, everything would kind of point till down right now, I think, back down to kind of these levels. If XRP really gets hit hard, I mean, you're looking at the pandemic lows again into the end of the year, but we're still waiting for 10 years in the lawsuit. I like MarketCypher better. Personally, but I'm not saying you gotta. It depends. Who you wanna. Do you want to watch somebody who's different to teach you Lux Algo? Maybe you could have more success with that. But if you would like me, like the way I do things, MarketCypher is the thing. And I don't see there's not too many. Don't get me wrong, I like Lux Algo. They're all they all could have pros and cons, but you don't see too many people doing trades like CryptoFace with Lux Algo. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So I think MarketCypher is the captain. FOMC May 10th, yeah. Yeah, FOMC May 10th could be, I think that'll lead to more of a summer lull, especially for traditional markets too. People talk about more banks going down a lot. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Call me crazy, but I don't know. I think it might be just mainly what we'll see is a lot of unemployment, a lot of slowdowns, a lot of layoffs. I don't know if we'll necessarily see more banks go down. I don't know. Could be wrong. They keep bailing out the banks anyway, yeah. The thing too is you had Celsius go down, then you had FTX go down, but the reason FTX went down was out of stupidity, out of craziness, not really, the reason Celsius went down was just mismanagement. They were just way too degenerate. They thought the market would keep going up. The reason FTX went down was degenerately it was them, but Celsius was too optimistic on the market. FTX was just retarded. If you compare Machinsky to SBF, SBF was more retarded later on, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to say, but a lot of people have been asking me about Algo. Well, let's take a look at Algo. Did we already look at Algo today? I think the best time is to have a diversified portfolio of the altcoins that you start to DCA in potentially over the summer. There's a lot of other factors that I'm going to keep watching. That will potentially tell me if it's a good time to DCA into it. But it's not one on my list. It's one on my list. Can it make a lower low? Sure. Can it make a double bottom? Sure. We're going to see what happens in the summer, reevaluate, and then look at if it's one I potentially want to buy. I do like Cosmos a little bit better in Algo, though, personally. But it's more of a venture capitalism approach. I don't think them labeling it as security is a terrible thing. At the same time, I don't. It's definitely not a good thing. You know what I mean? That basically said nothing. What I said kind of means nothing there. But yeah, I don't know. What's this? Oh, that's kind of weird. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's a good point, Rick. FTX didn't yet. FTX was dumber, I think, in the way they did it a little bit. It was similar, it was similar. The thing is with the banks, you don't have as much opportunity for stuff like that. You still do, but not as much. So I don't know if we're going to see too many more banks go down. I don't know. Difference between crypto exchanges and banks too is like everybody already knows crypto is not FDIC insured. You know what I mean? Everybody already knows crypto is risky. When you see banks going down, people get scared pretty quickly. That's a different type of thing. Like crypto is more of people that are risky to begin with. A lot of people were even taking funds out of the big boys, big banks too, after Silicon Valley Bank went down. So, yeah. FXT, TA, no, you didn't actually. I didn't look at that one. Not exactly a bearish div there, but yeah, splitter size in the weekly. This one kind of looks better in a lot of other things right now, but I mean, my game plan still with the alts is give it a few months, see what happens. Sequilla, yeah. I know you were short on Monero Nightshade. I know that part. 3-day trend reversal there. Could be a potential good short. The only bullish thing I'm seeing here is like 3-day money flow crossover, but it's just one time frame. It doesn't mean too much really. What if everything is labeled security in crypto except Bitcoin? Does that change anything? I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, it obviously is bad for the altcoins, good for Bitcoin. I mean, I don't think the government or anything could really, make all the altcoins go to zero and just make Bitcoin, keep going up. I mean, I'd be kind of surprised, but I think in theory, if that does happen, yeah, it would be good for Bitcoin, bad for all the alts. Oh wow. CTS we looked at. Not too familiar. I'm not too familiar with it really. Let's look at total, like regular total. I'm gonna get off in a minute, guys. Gotta take a nap. Getting a little tired here. Long week. Well, no, not really a long week of doing work. Long week of traveling, having some fun and stuff. But yeah. Split RSIs here. Yeah, we're getting to that point, just like Bitcoin. I think we're getting really close here. By the way, guys, we're doing another trading competition with MEXC. It's like a trading competition just under me, so use the link down below to get it. You don't need a VPN on MEXC. You only have to deposit $200 and trade. There's a minimum trading volume requirement to be eligible, and you got some pretty good odds winning $250 for first place. In total, the top 10 people will get something. We had a lot of fun with it last time. It's not that hard to win it. You got some good odds. If you know how to trade, and use good risk management, you got some really good odds there. Andrew won it last time from the Discord. He's a really good trader. So, yeah. Well, I would think he would be a good trader if he won the competition. So yeah. Check that out. Also, the Patreon, like I mentioned, 2 new analysts. We're been killing it in there. All of us have been posting some excellent TA. Definitely worth more than is being charged for it right now. Prices definitely aren't gonna stay at these lows forever. So get it while it's hot. Really good community in there. So I think we're gonna provide a lot for you. I'm really excited about it. Trading course as well. Doing a discount bear market 20% off. Check that out on evanaldo.com. Really good beginner trading course. And yeah, smash the like button. I think I'm going to get off in a minute. Let's give you one last recap for this. Long term, we're getting very close to this weekly printing the red dot. I kind of am more in the park that the red dot could be marked the end of this rally. If we do continue forward, it's a pretty nasty bear trap right now. We're just going to probably come up to 30, somewhere between 32, 35 while alts run in the next 2 weeks or so. If that doesn't happen, then if we don't get the altcoin season continue downward, which kind of is what the charts look like right now, the 3-hour money flow really deep, no signs of really coming up just yet. Next big place is high 25s, which is your 200 weekly moving average. If you lose that area, that's pretty bearish. I mean, obviously, blood diamonds on the 20-hour even had a blood diamond, so they're not always right. This was a buy signal, but those got it relatively good. That one especially. That one got it good, so they can be good. So yeah, guys, ETH as well. So look at ETH. Take a look at ETH. Losing this level right here. Not to say we can't break back above it, but the next fib level 17 something. After that, there's not much in between there to it's okay, you do have 16. We bounce around these areas a lot, 50. Yeah, every $100, but yeah, I mean, I think as long, once this weekly starts printing the red dot there, Bitcoin too on the weekly, yeah, I was talking about that nightshade on the 10-hour. They are all bearish now. It doesn't always give you what you need. There was somewhat of a buy, but that was down. So I do think that would, combined with everything else, keep you more bearish. We'll see if we could hold, 25.9, hold 26, hold the 200 weekly. If we can't, that's bearish. 200 weekly is kind of more of a joke now because everybody talks about it. I guess the price doesn't really care about it as much. But yeah, funding fees are still positive. Be careful if you are trying to go long. It does look like into the weekend, maybe into early next week, we'll continue bearish. Traditional markets as well are... NASDAQ, trend reversal on the 3-week. We've seen it before. We've seen trend reversal marks on the 3-week before. They're after crashes. This one, a little bit of a crash, but, maybe you come up forward, but I don't think so. I think you're just going to kind of come down. I think we're getting close to this. That confirms in 14 days here. I think NASDAQ is probably going to be more bearish. High potential for next area. Double top with this is there is a potential. So keep that in mind, guys. Check out the Discord. Check out the trading course. Check out the trading competition with MEXC. I want you guys. Hope you have a great day. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the like button. Have a good one, guys.